Imagine waking up in a world where freedom is a forgotten relic, where the swastika flies over New York City and Tokyo commands the Pacific with an iron fist. What if the Axis powers had won World War II? This alternate history scenario paints a chilling picture of a world dominated by fascism, suppression, and fear, an existence that challenges the very essence of what it means to be free. But before we dive in, I still encourage you to ever so gently pet the subscribe button, just for good luck. Now, back to the video. Had the Axis powers won, the geopolitical landscape would have been dramatically altered. Germany, Italy, and Japan would have divided their conquered territories. Europe would have seen a drastic redrawing of borders, with Germany likely annexing large parts of Eastern Europe, including Poland, Czechoslovakia, and potentially vast regions of the Soviet Union. Italy would have expanded its influence over the Mediterranean and parts of North Africa. Japan, having solidified its dominance in East Asia and the Pacific, might have extended its reach further into China and possibly Australia. The United States, had it not been defeated but forced into a ceasefire, would find itself isolated, likely retreating into a more insular foreign policy stance. Latin America, less touched by the conflict directly, might have become a battleground for influence between the Axis and a neutral or isolationist United States. A victorious Axis powers would have implemented authoritarian regimes across their territories. Fascism and militarism would dominate, with Germany's Nazi ideology possibly becoming the guiding principle of governance. This would entail a grim reality for millions, as the genocidal policies of the Nazis would likely continue unabated. The Holocaust, rather than being halted, might have reached even more catastrophic proportions, and other ethnic groups and political dissidents would face similar fates under Axis rule. The Soviet Union, if not entirely conquered, would likely be reduced to a puppet state or fragmented into smaller regions under Axis control. The defeat of the Allies would mean the end of democratic governance in vast parts of the world, replaced by totalitarian regimes that suppress dissent and promote aggressive nationalism. The economic policies of the Axis powers, characterized by state control and militarization, would have stifled global economic development. The exploitation of conquered territories for resources and labor would have created an economy based on plunder and forced labor. This could have led to significant technological advancements, particularly in military and industrial fields, as the Axis powers would have likely continued their focus on research and development for maintaining their dominance. However, without the collaborative and competitive spirit seen in the post-war period, civilian technological progress might have been slower. Innovations such as the internet, space exploration, and medical advancements could have been delayed or developed under a cloud of state secrecy and control. The cultural impact of an Axis victory would be profound. The propagation of fascist ideology would reshape education, arts, and media. Propaganda would become an integral part of daily life, glorifying the state and demonizing perceived enemies. Freedom of expression would be severely curtailed, and cultural homogenization would be enforced to maintain control. Social hierarchies would become even more rigid, with racial purity laws and eugenics playing a central role in society. The persecution of minorities, intellectuals, and those deemed undesirable would be widespread, creating a culture of fear and conformity. Despite the oppressive regimes, resistance movements would likely persist. Underground networks, both within and outside the Axis territories, would strive to undermine the authoritarian rule. These resistance efforts could lead to internal conflicts and perhaps even spark wars of liberation in the future. The legacy of an Axis victory would cast a long shadow over history. The triumph of fascism and militarism would fundamentally alter the course of human progress, creating a world where fear, oppression, and violence are the norms. The struggle for freedom and democracy would take on new dimensions, as the values we hold dear today would be shaped by the prolonged conflict against tyranny. Thank you kindly for watching.